What if the obsession with fixing your life is the exact thing preventing you from living it? Stay with me on that one, because it sounds like a contradiction. We're taught that self-improvement is always good, that the more we work on ourselves, the closer we get to being okay. But here's the trap almost nobody talks about. The harder you chase growth, the more you reinforce the belief that you are fundamentally broken. Every time you set out to fix yourself, you're sending your own nervous system a quiet, repeated message. Something is wrong with me, and it needs to be corrected before I'm allowed to be at peace. And that message never actually goes away. It just puts on a new outfit every few months, a new habit tracker, a new morning routine, a new book that promises to finally be the one. So today, I want to talk about a different way in. Not another fix. The opposite of fixing, actually. It's called acceptance, and it might be the most misunderstood word in the entire world. Let's clear something up first, because the second I say acceptance, a lot of people hear giving up. They picture someone shrugging their shoulders, staying stuck, settling for a life they don't want. That's not what we're talking about. Acceptance, in the psychological sense, isn't about liking your circumstances. It's not passive. It's not resignation. It's something much more precise. It's the willingness to see reality exactly as it is, without adding a layer of war on top of it. And that distinction between the reality itself and the war we wage against it is where this entire conversation lives. Here's what's actually happening in your mind when you're in resistance mode. Let's say you're anxious. Instead of just feeling anxious, your brain adds a second layer. I shouldn't be feeling this. What's wrong with me? Why can't I just be normal? Now you're not managing one problem. You're managing two. The original feeling plus your resistance to the feeling. And that second layer is almost always the heavier one. Psychologists sometimes call this secondary suffering. The first arrow is the pain itself. That's often unavoidable. The second arrow is the story we tell about the pain, and that one, we're firing at ourselves. This is why resistance is so exhausting. It's not one battle, it's two. You're fighting the situation, and you're fighting your own reaction to the situation, simultaneously, all day, every day. Chronic resistance keeps your nervous system in a low-grade state of threat. Your body reads, I am at war with my own experience as danger, because biologically it is. And a body that constantly perceives danger cannot access the parts of the brain responsible for creativity, clarity, or calm decision-making. So the very thing you need, a clear head to actually change your life, is the thing resistance takes away from you. Now let's look at the alternative. When you stop resisting, when you actually let yourself feel the anxious feeling, sit with the disappointing situation, look directly at the thing you've been avoiding. Something strange happens. The volume goes down. Not because the problem disappeared, it's still there, but you're no longer spending half your energy defending against it. You've stopped adding fuel to the fire, and fires that aren't fed tend to burn a little cooler. This is the part that surprises people most. Acceptance doesn't numb you. It actually sharpens you. Because for the first time, you're seeing the situation with clean eyes instead of eyes clouded by panic, shame, or denial. Think of it like turning on the lights in a room you've been stumbling around in the dark. The furniture hasn't moved, but now you can actually see where it is, which means you can finally navigate it without hurting yourself. That's the clarity acceptance offers, not comfort for comfort's sake. And accuracy is the only thing real change has ever been built on. Here's the part that flips the whole narrative on its head. Change doesn't begin when you start fighting your reality harder. It begins the moment you stop fighting it and start observing it. Observation is different from resistance in one crucial way. It has no agenda. When you observe something, you're not demanding it be different. You're just watching it, clearly as it actually is. And that's not a passive state. It's actually the most active state your mind can be in, because it's the only state where you have full information. You can't accurately solve a problem you've been too busy denying, avoiding, or catastrophizing to actually look at. This is why so many people feel stuck despite years of working on themselves. They've been trying to force change onto a version of reality they never fully looked at. They're renovating a house through a foggy window. Acceptance clears the window. Not so you'll stop caring about what's inside the house, but so you can finally see what actually needs to change instead of guessing. So how do you actually do this? A few small shifts. First, notice the present moment. Next time you're struggling, ask yourself, is this the pain itself, or is this my resistance to the pain? Just naming that difference starts to loosen its grip. Second, try replacing the question, how do I fix this, with what is actually true here? Fixing jumps straight to action, often before you've even understood the problem. Truth-seeking slows you down just long enough to see clearly. Third, remember that acceptance is not a one-time decision. It's a muscle. You'll fall back into resistance. Everyone does. The goal isn't to never resist. It's to notice sooner each time and return to observation a little faster. None of this means lowering your standards for your life. It means finally standing on solid ground instead of quicksand, so that when you do reach for something better, you're reaching from clarity, not from fear. So maybe the goal was never to fix yourself into someone worthy of peace. Maybe peace was available the moment you stopped treating yourself like a problem to be solved. That's the radical power of acceptance. Not that it lets you off the hook, but that it finally gives you clear enough eyes to see the hook was never real to begin with. So let me ask you, what if trying to fix yourself is the exact thing keeping you stuck? Think about that. If something at home for you, I invite you to subscribe and be part of the community.